So does nothing matter or everything matter? These are two opposing paradoxical realizations that we have on the awakening path. Quite early on, we can have the realization nothing matters. We could have been stressing about something, intensely worried about, do I need to leave this job or this relationship, or what do I do about this thing, and very busily worrying about something. And we just have this opening, this something pops open, and we realize it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter what I do. Things will work out exactly the way they're supposed to. I'm not in control. There's no problems here. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's not a depleted, deflated, depressed state or feeling. It's quite elated and it's a relief. It's like, oh, I don't need to worry about anything because nothing matters. No one's in control here. I don't need to stress about it. There's no need to worry about anything because everything just goes the way it's supposed to go. And so I'm sure if you've had this realization, you've experienced that relief that nothing matters. It really is a wonderful feeling if we've been quite anxious about something. And then on the flip side, we can have the realization that everything matters. And yes, this sounds confusing and it is paradoxical, and the mind doesn't like that, but it is equally true that from the perspective of reality, everything does matter. Nothing matters and everything matters, and both are held together as a paradox, but equally true. So everything matters. It's more of a heart awakening type realization. So nothing matters is more of a mind awakening, and then everything matters is a heart awakening, but they're both equal. All parts of reality, and there is a lot of different parts and a lot of different faces to reality, are equal. There's no hierarchy, and they're all equally true. They're just all held together as this weird paradox that doesn't make sense to the mind. So everything matters, meaning every thought I have, my mood affects other people, uh, my actions affect other people. I can see that everything that I do has a flow on effect to the collective. I can actually see that interconnected web of society, and that what I do moves that, whether I help someone or I don't smile at someone or I'm rude or I'm friendly to someone, it has an effect to the collective. I can see that. And through that, I have this realization very deeply that everything matters, everything is important, everything is crucial. I need to be aware of my behaviors and not act in toxic ways because it's affecting the full collective. And it feels very important to watch our behaviors and to try to be in alignment with truth as much as we can. And so we have this very deep, it feels very deep that I want to try to um, just be better and to help more because everything matters. I've seen that now for myself. I've realized that very deeply. And so this may sound weird. Nothing matters. Everything is just happening the way it is happening. There's no problems. Everything matters. Everything I do has an effect on the collective. Both are equally true. Sometimes one realization will, one part of reality will be more obvious than the other. Sometimes they're held together equally in this strange way. And it's really like we don't need to do anything about the realizations other than just accept that that is a part of reality, just like all the other parts, like that it's made of emptiness, things that are very strange. It's not a puzzle to be worked out. It's more of a teaching to be accepted about reality. And so we continue to go about our day, and it may help to give us peace to know that nothing ultimately matters. It doesn't. Even if you were to die, you're eternal, and it doesn't change your fundamental nature in the slightest, even if you're to get a terrible diagnosis. So the worst things that could happen, lose a child. Yes, there's pain and suffering, no doubt. It's not to be used as a bypass for our humanity, but on an absolute level, we are perfect and unmoving and unchanging, and everything is going exactly the way it was always going to go. And so is there any point worrying about it? There's really not. You can if you want. And also, we're held accountable. We have to be responsible for what we do because it causes a flow and effect to the collective, and we incur karma as a result of that. And so if we're wanting to awaken, we're wanting to reduce our karma load, not increase it, even if we're doing that accidentally. And so for karmic reasons, and just also because of wanting to do no harm to others and seeing the impact that we have, just one person has on others, we can see that influence that we have and know that it keeps impacting and going and flowing through the collective. And so that's something that we can take responsibility for our own actions and the way we talk and behave and our emotional state and all of that. So we basically just take these realizations as they come, and we enjoy the teaching, we enjoy the relief that comes with it, we take responsibility, and we just live from that. We live from the knowing, the deep knowing that it looks like I have to make decisions. I'm always going to have to appear to be making decisions, but I know that there's nobody here that's actually doing that. I know that I can't get that right or wrong because there is nobody to get that right or wrong. Whichever way it goes is the way that it goes, and it was the way that it was always supposed to go. So it's still about taking action and living your life. You don't use that realization to try to get out of life, which some people might do it as a bypass. So it's not a depressive, nothing matters, I won't get out of bed. It's not. It's just, it is a part of reality that it is perfect in one sense, in an absolute sense. It is, there's nobody in control of it. It's already going to go the way that it's supposed to go. So it's a matter of, you don't need to worry about that. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because there's just a life being lived here. You're actually eternal. This is just a character's story being played out. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. But that doesn't mean you don't go and live your life. That's not what it's telling you to do, because on the flip side, if we balance them together, it's like, well, everything matters. Everything that you do counts. Everything that you do helps people or hurts people. And so we see when we start to put the two together and then we operate in the world from both of them, it makes a lot more sense, even though it doesn't make sense to the mind. But there's a reason to get out of bed, and it's because everything matters. And so we live from both of them, holding hands together and operate in the world in that way.